Now that we know how to create a stem and leaf, let's look at how to read one, how to interpret it, how to look at the numbers and then figure out what those numbers are telling us. So again, just as a reminder, this is my stem side, which represents my tens. So this is how many tens are in the number. And then the leaf on the other side are the ones. When I put a tens and a ones together, that's what gives me my number. So I have tens and I have ones. So first things first is to put all of your numbers in order. You have to look at your full data set, meaning your list of numbers. So I take one from the tens and one from the ones, put them together to make my number. 0 tens and 3 ones is the number 3. Then I have 7 and then 8. 3, 7, 8. Let's go to my next stem, my next branch of tens. 15, a 1 and a 5, 15, a 1 and a 6, 16. 15, 15, 16. Now, yes, sometimes numbers show up more than once, and that's going to be important later on in our unit. So don't skip over it. It's almost like this is how many dollars I earn each day. Well, Monday, if I earned $15, Tuesday, I earned another $15. I'm not going to skip it just because it's the same. I still earn that money, so I still want to track, even though it's the same number twice. Okay, let's go to our next. 21 and 25. My next stem in my leaf is a 31. Now here I have no leaves in my 40s. That means there is no number that shows up in this list of 40s. It's important to write my 4 here because I want to keep all of my 10s in order, but the fact that there is nothing here means that there are no numbers in the 40s. So it's almost like you can just ignore it. But I do have a leaf here in my 50s place. So a 5 and an 8 makes 58. So let's double check and let's make sure we wrote down all of our numbers. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. Notice I counted a 10 and a 1 together each time. So I should have 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So this stem and leaf tells me that my numbers are 3, 7, 8, 15, 15, 16, 21, 25, 31, and 58. Now here's why it's important to take the stem and leaf and always write it as your list of numbers. Here's some example questions that you might have. According to this information, how many numbers are more than 15? So I'm going to look through my list of data and say, well, these are all of the numbers that are more than 15, greater than 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 numbers greater than 15. Another example of a question. How many are at least 30? So at least 30 means 30 is the least number that I would have. I would have 30 or higher. At least 30. So how many of these numbers are at least 30? At least 30 means 30 or higher. These are the only 2 numbers that are at the very least number that they could be, at least 30. 31 and 58. So how many numbers are at least 30? 2 of the numbers. Okay. Another example of a question that you might get would be, how many are between 10 and 20? Well, between 10 and 20, let's see, a 10 would be right here, and a 20 would be right here. So between 10 and 20 would be those numbers, 15, 15, and 16. So how many of the numbers are between 10 and 20? 3 of them. So you see, when there are questions asked about the data set, the list of numbers in our data, it's really important to write all of the numbers from your stem and leaf down onto one big long list from least to greatest. That way, when you have the questions about interpreting it, analyzing it, figuring out what it is actually telling you. It's much easier to look at this list of numbers than trying to read it based on all of that.